Oh yes. Okay, the bombers are super effective, so we are slowly going to actually increase our African holdings. I like the idea of a Portuguese-owned Africa. That gives me a certain amount of satisfaction, don't you think? Anti-tank crew will come in there nicely, and you know what? I feel like treating myself. Let's go for a liberation cavalry. I was thinking about going for a tank, but oil per turn is going to start running out if I'm not careful. I'm going to save myself for a tank army, I think. Don't forget, we're still liberating cities left, right, and centre. Oh, yes. No one cares about my activities. I'm taking over the entirety of Africa, but everyone's like, yeah, but he's freeing Europe, so, you know, he's above board. Ah, dear. Diplomacy. I'm also going to stick a cheeky little city down in this area of Antarctica. Yes. Lovely. Apparently, nope, this is Asia. Apparently, this is Asia. Cool. Yep. Brilliant. we won't argue with that one. Let's give it a monument. Let's give it a granary. I'll send a trade route here in a second. But look at this oil. Even more oil. Oil it's the lifeblood of my empire. Submarines need it. Artillery need it. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Hey, satellites. Awesome stuff. Okay. Gonna flick into resource management quickly. Aluminium and oil. Oh, both of those things are just delightful. But Lisbon already can just jump straight into a moon landing. 7 turns? 7 turns, that's pretty good. I've also got the ability to get let's get a stable in. I think an armory would work nicely. A military academy just for the era score, because you know, 467 out of 369. I'm only 100 above the total. It's terrible. New York has rebelled. Oh dear, and it's actually got mechanized inventory because I just unlocked it this turn. That's a bit brutal. Never mind, I've got the artillery ready to hit. The anti-tank crew is ready to come back in. Now, all we need to do is seize Baltimore. If we seize Baltimore, then I feel like these colonies are going to be a little bit nicer. Although Ottawa, with 12 population, that's probably easier to seize. With this, here we go. We've got Mali's capital, which gives me another trade route and just gives me so much loyalty in this area. Lovely. I also have a bomber just ready to help me take this city as well. This poor anti-tank crew is doing its best to not get killed, but it's being attacked pretty brutally. Quick, get to safety. To make up for all that conquering again, we're just going to continue liberating cities. Conveniently for me as well, telecommunications and nanotech are down this end where there's actually like 2 techs in the future era that are totally disconnected from everything else. So if I get myself telecommunications and then nanotech, telecommunications are nuclear submarines which do not use oil, which is brilliant. Like, they are the best. It means you can just spam nuclear submarines and never ever have a problem. But I get those 2 techs, and yeah, I'll be able to see if I need to actually go into the future era to get the others. Quite useful, that. So I've just liberated Cologne. Now I'm going back to St. Petersburg just to keep doing these things. Oh yes, I've got 1,381 diplomatic favour, which is not bad considering I'm actually getting 0 per turn at the moment. Somebody very astutely said that maybe the friendship problem has been the fact that the loyalty or the friendship counter to what I'm allowed to have with people sort of went round. So in the same way that in Civ 4, one of the funny glitches of the game was that Gandhi, who didn't go to war, once you got into the future ages and the need of the AI to go to war decreased even further, Gandhi did a full flip and went to this sort of nuclear warlord meme thing, which, is just because of in the thing, if you're using like a sort of binary way of putting the game together, it just sort of flicks round. Oh, I just lost that unit, whoops. Maybe I'm so friendly with people because I've liberated so many cities that they actually don't want to be my friends because they think they hate me. It's possible. I don't know if that is true because, somebody did eventually like me. I've got one friend and this research alliance is pretty good, but it's one possible explanation, and to be fair, I'm willing to take any explanation at this point. I'm just focusing as well all of my trade routes in on Fez. I've already built up 13, envoys. I was with 2 turns ago, so that's pretty good. You can see I'm just sort of putting them together, all of these routes again. As soon as I get suzerain status, then all of those routes are going to start producing a ton of food and gold and everything. Like, look at all this stuff. I've now got 15 with them. I should have them next turn. Oh, liberating to the Ottomans? Do I want 300 favour to do that? No, I want to keep my African holdings, and to be fair, this down here was all Portuguese territory at one point, so I feel like retaining my rights to that stuff. And here are the envoys, 3 into Candy, which means that this is now my suzerain. And hopefully that means now that all the places like Sterling up there and my Antarctic city-states, all of these now just have the best routes. Yeah, look at all these things grow. They've got nothing but resources given to them by trade routes, and that's all they need. Ursa Ryan's shiny hard bits. Fantastic corporation that sells nothing but the finest diamonds. Come get your diamonds. Whenever people think of diamonds, they think of Ursa Ryan's rusty, crusty, shiny hard bits. Oh yeah. I think with this city taken out of the equation, I think Mali might be out of the game, which people will find really bad, and they won't like that at all. So I better get liberating. But it is stable. I've brought stability to this African region. Ho ho ho. Very nice. We will continue just to sort of send my units around. Very nice indeed. Ursa Ryan's Sweet Juice. It's another corporation, this time producing for me some oranges. Now that'll be really good once we get that rocking. Military unit production? Oh, that's something I could do with. One more little desert city here. Does it really have any luxuries for me? No, not really. So I could give that back to Egypt. I'm tempted to. Yeah, we need to do a little bit of liberating here just to make sure that people forget very quickly about the fact that I just took somebody out of the game. I can see lots and lots of unhappy faces appearing. Maybe this is the reset that we needed, actually, in order to get people back on side. Because look, I've got loads of this liberation going on now. Oh, the Liberation Armada. You just do me. You do me so well. Yeah, look at this. So I've already got rid of 2/3 of the disinterest that had appeared in my lands, just purely because of the fact that I was going to war. So that is just brilliant. So this artillery army couldn't move, so I just bought a supply convoy next to it, and now it can fire and move because that glitch is still in the game. If an artillery has more than 2 movement, it can move and fire, because that's what the promotion does. That's what it thinks is the true thing here. It's very odd. I've been asked this a few times as well, because people are saying Portugal should get 50% more trade route bonus, and it doesn't look like it's actually happening. Well, it's because the game is being a bit funny about how it's showing it to me. Look, Lira to Mogadishu is supposed to be giving me 6 food, 6 production, 28 gold. When I actually click on the trader and have a look at it this way, you can see 9 food, 9 production, 42 gold. So it is giving me 50% more, but for whatever reason the graphics are not showing me until the route actually gets sent. Why? I don't know. I have no idea, but just that is a thing, and I've noticed it. As a British man, I'm finding, retaining ownership of America very tricky. America seems to want its own independence all the time. Like, I swear they keep throwing my tea into the river. Oh my goodness, my corporation got renamed. Ugh. Ursa Ryan, Sweet Juice. Come on, let's not do this. Be my friends, America. Independence is not what it's cracked up to be. You wanna be my friend instead. Just take an Ottawa though. That's the Colosseum. Ooh. Oh, hello. Right, liberating it to Canada. No. Canada doesn't need this city. Not at all. But does this help? Oh, New York is now stable. Washington is almost stable. Okay, Ottawa, I'm going to need you to do bread and circuses. Thank you very much. Ursa Ryan's rancid balls. You can tell that I've got olives. I mean, of course, what else is it going to be? I'm really hoping olives are one of those things where as you get older, you just learn to love them. Like, a lot of my friends have begun to really enjoy olives, and it's just one of those things I haven't quite got my head around yet. Like, you can get some really nice ones, and you can get some utterly despicable ones that make you want to cry. Yeah, I've had a lot of the second sort. Also, I settled this city, if only just to sort of show the AI that the Mediterranean is mine, but also because I wanted that aluminium. And now I believe Lisbon can pump out a load more bombers for me. So we'll go for 1 bomber there, and 2 bombers there, and 3 bombers there, and we're going to have to wait for 1 more. But never mind, that's a lot of bombers. Interesting. Okay, so lots and lots of stuff to see there. Eiffel Tower I've just built because I thought, my empire's wonderful. Why don't I make it pretty and appealing? Because Portugal is appealing and lovely. Have you ever visited Portugal? It's a lovely, lovely country. Oh, we've been to Lisbon. Actually, that was one of her better holidays. It was a really nice city to go to. Sorry, just totally getting sidetracked there. Look at all these Dark Ages. Only 5 people survived. Japan, Norway, France, Vietnam, and the Aztecs. Everywhere else is having a little bit of a wobble right now. I think it's going to spell probably the end for the Zulu at some point, but that's not going to be too much of a pain. India, yeah, Indian Dark Age is probably not a good thing as well. But the other thing that's quite interesting is this. Each of my citizens exerts 2.484 loyalty pressure. That's huge. That's absolutely nonsensically huge. It means I'm basically going to retain all of my cities everywhere now, because I got 100 points over the golden age that I needed. And look at that. Oh yeah, everything is slowly starting to come. I have the war department in now, so killing units actually heals my troops. A really, really useful skill, that one. I've also got the Manhattan Project, apparently. When did I get that? When did I even click that? I don't know. That's a little bit concerning, but we'll just sort of gloss over that one. Oh yeah, look, there we go. Smart materials. It was down here. We've got to get a few things first. Synthetic materials. I love the biosphere. Amazing. Computers and drones. That's all lovely. Alright, we're on the right path here. This is all good. Do we liberate back to the Ottomans? Nah, I'll keep this one as well. I'll keep that city. That is looking good to me. You can see Africa is slowly being absorbed into my empire now. My aim here is I'm trying to see how big these Incan cities I can actually make them. I mean, this city is my goal at the moment. 10 population. I'm throwing so much food at this thing. Oh, it's going to be great. Professional sports. Okay, what I'm going to quickly do is pick up, I mean, resource management is really, really good. I'm thinking actually to get professional army. Have I really not got the one that doubles that with retinues? Not yet. Huh. Very odd. Okay, resource management, you know what, actually no. How much oil have I got? Lots of oil. We've got lots of aluminium. Okay, we'll switch over just for a bit. Professional army in. That means I can now upgrade all of my submarines, which is really, really good. Before I do that though, here are stadiums. Lovely. Now this is going to give so many more amenities to my capital. Oh yes, and I think this city as well has an aquatic centre. Kablump. Lovely. Okay, that means my capital is going to be super, super happy now. A few turns ago, Brazil actually denounced me. Unfortunately, I can actually declare a colonial war on Brazil. As Portugal, this makes me so happy. Oh, Scotland, I know you're not going to like that. You know, you're very boring. Hoping my battleships should melt Brazil's walls. They do. They do. Turns out they do. Brazil do have galleys, so let's just be a bit careful. We don't want to be too reckless in this attack. Oh dear. Still fighting into Africa though. Istanbul isn't going to be particularly happy, but am I going to liberate that to the Congo? No, I am not going to liberate that to the Congo. Don't be silly. Entertainingly, I've already liberated Rome, which means that actually people don't have any grievances with me for going to war with Brazil. There is the moon landing. Huge culture boost from that one. Again, the second very sort of rude looking rocket gets launched into the atmosphere. Wonderful. First to land on the moon. Brilliant synthetic materials. Cold War. I don't think Cold War is really that useful for me, to be fair. That's okay. I can use it to build quicker naval units if I wanted. I don't really need that for now. Mars colony, 7 turns. Lovely. You know what? Let's just jump a little bit more production into my capital. Yeah, look at that. They're building a workshop in 1 turn. They've got that much production. Oh yes, how much can I supercharge the Incans? In fact, what I'm actually going to do, this is a really silly, stupid idea. I'm actually going to take all of these cities from Brazil, and I'm going to give them back to the Incans. And I'm going to call the Incans my puppet, because let's face it, they're allied to me. But are they really going to do anything? I'm giving them all of their success and all of their science and all of their food. I like the idea of a united Incan South America that's just under my rule. Oh, and if they ever turned on me, they would regret that very quickly. Right, well, step 1, before we get too carried away with ourselves, is we've actually just got to make sure that we've taken over this whole area. Look at that. Look at that. My golden age is so strong. I can actually just hold Sao Paulo like it is. That's so funny. This is also a really good time to upgrade all of those nuclear submarines. Oh, tasty. So Baltimore is also mine now. Oh, my American holdings are looking pretty good. Let's take Vancouver. I believe just with a little peppering of some tasty bombers and an anti-tank core army. Core army? It's a core army. Not a corp, but like core to my plans. Yes, that's what I meant. Near future governance. That gives me a governor that I can now put indoctrination into. That's another wildcard policy slot. Delightful. So it gives me 3 envoys. I can take over Buenos Aires again, which very unhelpfully decided to stick with Pedro during this war. You will regret that. It's not even a threat, that. It's just a fact. You will regret that. Culture industry. Oh yes, look at that. Lovely. 96. So we're up to 1,030 science per turn, 830 culture per turn. And we're starting to unlock some governments now. Digital democracy. Synthetic technocracy. I quite like the technocracy one. It gives me city projects, it gives me power in all cities. Digital democracy, of course, gives me tons of crazy culture and amenities. Both are good. Both are pretty damn good. But the economic policies are, and to be fair, both economic and diplomatic are pretty decent. Oh, which government should I go for? That is a good question. Let's go for digital democracy. Let's do it. Although, actually, that will give us a -3 combat strength. We'll go for robotics. How far away from robotics? Oh, we're actually going through robotics in a second, so I will hold fire on that one just temporarily. We want to go down this way now, so let's go to mass media. Just going through and just popping flood barriers down everywhere. I think it's a good thing to rush through before, I mean, let's face it, I flood the world. It's most likely to be me. And finally, a very special shout out goes to Scott Stratton, Major King Kong, Matthew Wilkinson, Salty Tech, and Helge Torp for all of your support on Patreon, as well as everybody else that likes, subscribes, joins up with Discord, and all of the other people who support me on Patreon. You really help me to do what I do. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.